crash of thunder in the distance signals the arrival of the storm. The lights in the windows turn black for a moment against the white flash of lightning. Droplets start falling from the sky, turning Hakon's beard into a tiny waterfall as the rain drips off of it. It's time, Hakon thinks to himself, and he starts walking towards the castle, his crossbow and bolts softly rattling. The grappling hook hanging from his thigh thuds subtly against his leg. Hakon reaches for the hook as he approaches the wall. He grabs the rope hanging from his other thigh and ties it through the eye on the bottom of the hook. For a minute, he calculates the trajectory of the thing and loads it onto his crossbow. Rain is now pouring fairly hard, numbing the noises of what Hakon is about to do. The grappling hook gets released from the bow and flies through the night sky. With a soft clank sound, it hits the top of the wall, right between the two battlements, and lodges itself stuck. Hakon picked the right time to do this, as the rain muffles the noise the hook makes on the cold, wet stone. He grips the rope and pulls hard a few times, making sure it will hold. Satisfied, he starts ascending the wall. It's a little more difficult than usual, as the castle walls are wet from the rain, but Hakon has strong shoes that give him at least some grip. A few exhausting minutes later, he reaches the top of the wall and peeks over to make sure there's nobody there. Not a single soul is in sight. Not a single sound is out in this horrible weather. Hakon climbs over the edge and lands on his feet. The tower closest to him is on his right, and therefore he decides to go there. Maybe he should have done some more research on the layout of this place. Well, it's too late now anyways. The large wooden door opens slowly as Hakon pushes against it. Light from inside pours out into the miserable rain and leaves an orange glow on the grey stones. Hakon quickly glances around the corner to make sure the room is empty. He decides it's safe and goes inside. The room is a simple guard post, but the guard is missing. A small square table with 4 chairs around it stands in the center of the circular room. From the ceiling hangs a simple, small chandelier with 4 candles lighting the room entirely. On his left, Hakon notices another door, and on his right, a small bookcase with some books in it. The wooden floor looks to be recently cleaned. Hakon doesn't want to linger, especially if the guards are still around, and quickly makes his way to the other door. But in his hurry, he made a mistake. Hakon rushes through the door and walks straight into the guard. Quickly, they both throw their swords. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" the guard shouts. "I'm nobody, don't worry. Let me pass and no one has to get hurt," Hakon answers. "I don't trust you. You will come with me to the dungeons for questioning." At this point, Hakon loses his temper and strikes first. The guard has good reflexes though, and parries the strike. He immediately counterattacks, but Hakon saw the attack coming and quickly dodges away to the left. Hakon swipes his blade to the right side of the guard, but his sword bounces off his armor. The guard smiles and goes in for a punch. It hits Hakon in the stomach and air escapes his lungs. Hakon shakes his head to recover, only in time to see the blade coming towards him. He blocks the attack and swiftly counters with his own. Hakon's blade slices through fabric and skin. The guard groans and a large cut appears on his left side. The guard drops to one knee as he realizes he cannot win the fight with this wound. "I am at your mercy," he proclaims. "Please let me live. I won't tell a soul you're here." "No. It is far too risky. It must be finished." With these words, Hakon raises his sword and stabs the guard in the heart. With a faint thud, his lifeless body hits the floor. The blood, dripping from his wounds, starts coating the floor in a small pool. "Damn it," Hakon thinks to himself. "I've got to hurry now. When they find his body, they will sound the alarm, and I'm done for." Hakon rushes into the hallway and towards the next door. He peeks through the keyhole to see if he sees anything on the other side. All he finds is darkness and a faint light coming from the right of the keyhole. He slowly opens the door and looks around the corner. Finally, this is it. Hakan enters the room. It's dimly lit by two small lanterns. It is a small square room with a downward spiral staircase in the middle of the room. Hakan recognizes this area as the treasury tower. He walks towards the stairs. Opening. He walks towards the stairs and looks down. A faint light is at the bottom of the stairs. It looks to be about 50 feet to the bottom of the stairs. Hakan hesitates for the fraction of a second and then starts descending the stairs into the darkness. After a few agonizing seconds, Hakan reaches the bottom of the stairs. Here he finds a single door. He slowly opens it and finds a dark hallway with a door at the end of it. Through the keyhole shines a ray of light. Hakan hurries to the door and opens the door slightly. He peeks in and his jaws drop in amazement. It's a large, square room filled with large bookcases and display cases. To his amazement, there are no guards in this room. I bet they expect no one to be able to get past the guard posts. Idiots. Hakan enters the room and immediately starts searching it. He looks through ancient books, priceless jewelry, and impressive suits of armor. After a few minutes and countless of trinkets later, he finds a display case on the other side of the room from the door. There it is. Inside the display case lies a beautiful dagger. The hilt made from gold with a gorgeous and very detailed pattern engraved in it. The pommel is decorated with a large ruby. It seems to be glowing a faint red glow. The blade of the dagger is made of shiny platinum, a very rare, very strong substance. I now understand why they offered so much money for this thing. It must be worth a mint. Hakan reaches for the lid of the case and pulls. It won't budge. Of course, it's locked. I should have known. Hakan looks at the lock and laughs softly. Such a weak protection for such a valuable item. This is too easy. He reaches for his lockpicks, and within a matter of seconds, the lock unlocks with a soft click. Hakan opens the case and grabs the dagger. It's far lighter than it looks, and Hakan gives it a few smooth steps through the air. This thing is amazing. I almost want to keep it for myself. He grabs the scabbard that goes with the dagger from the display case and sheathes the dagger. He clasps it to his belt and decides to grab some of the fancy jewelry as well. Might as well. He shrugs and sticks some of it in his pockets. Hakan leaves the room and enters the hallway. He quickly walks towards the stairs and starts ascending. As he reaches the top of the stairs, he gasps. Well. Looks like we found our intruder, boys. 3 guards are standing before Hakan. The one in the middle is clearly their leader. He wears fancy, shiny steel armor and a beautiful purple feather on his helmet. The other 2 guards wear simple chainmail. Damn it, how did they find out? Must have found a body. These guys are quick. Hakan reaches for the dagger and his short sword. I wouldn't do that if you value your life. You're outnumbered. Just come with us and we'll resolve this like men. The main guard smirks. Hakan wants to cut off his head even more now. But he's right. He is outnumbered and they are wearing far better armor than him. But he can't simply let them take it. There's too much at stake. I think you guys will understand that I simply cannot do that, Hakan says calmly, his heart beating in his throat. The guards are clearly not amused by Hakan's attitude. The guard on the left is out of patience and strikes first. Right where I want you, idiot. Hakan parries a strike with his blade and slices with the dagger in his other hand. The knife finds flesh. Hakan hit right in one of his chainmail's weak spots. The guard stumbles but finds his footing again. He looks at the wound for a second, seemingly unimpressed, but then fear appears into his eyes. He starts screaming as opaque patches of smoke arise from the wound in his side, blood slowly dripping from it. The guard grasps for his wound, but it doesn't help. It takes a few seconds for everyone to realize what's going on here. The dagger is infused infused with magic. Elemental magic. Fire, to be precise. It burns the wound on contact. The guard drops to his knees as his whole body starts smoking. The blood is carrying the magic through his body, and it's burning him from the inside out. The light in his eyes slowly leaves, and his lifeless body drops, smoke still arising from his skin. The three men still left in the room look at the spectacle, and fear fills them all. Hakon looks at the dagger in his right hand. The power he wields now is far greater than he could have imagined. He looks up to find the two other guards, fear still shining in their eyes, looking back at Hakon, their weapons at the ready. They clearly intend to let this dagger stay in the safety of the keep. The guard in his shiny steel armor decides enough is enough. He strikes with his long sword. Hakon manages to block the strike, but he hits hard. The force behind the strike is immense. Hakon stumbles for a second and spins out of the way of the second guard, who now strikes. Hakon's sword finds his flesh in a quick strike, but it's only a small surface wound. It doesn't matter though, as the blade's magic does its work. The second guard starts screaming as the fire starts burning him. After a few seconds he stops screaming, and he now lies dead. The guard in shiny armor looks down upon his fallen comrade, but looks up to find Hakon striking at him with his sword. He reacts late, but blocks the strike with his arm. The blade leaves a mark on the armor. Hakon stumbles a bit from the impact, and the guard uses this opportunity to attack. His sword hits Hakon in the leg, and he stumbles again. The guard strikes again, but Hakon manages to dodge out of the way with his good leg. He grimaces as he stands up, his leg obviously hurting. The guard strikes once more, but Hakon was prepared. He blocks the strike with his sword, and they are locked in a game of push and pull. But Hakon strikes with the dagger. He hits the guard's armor, and he quickly backs away. The magic on the dagger is so strong that it burns a hole in the armor. The guard looks down to the hole in horror. He is now exposed. Hakon doesn't hesitate, and quickly throws the dagger towards the guard. The guard notices it's too late, and the blade pierces his stomach right where the hole in his armor is. The guard starts breathing heavily and strikes one more time, loyal to his cause. Hakon easily dodges the strike as the guard stumbles from the pain. He drops down on his side as the life slowly fades from his face. It is over. Hakon looks down at the carnage he caused. I shouldn't have been able to win this, but this dagger is so incredibly powerful. It's amazing. He picks up the dagger and sneakily moves through the keep. He encounters no other guards and manages to leave. He walks toward the meeting point where he would meet the prince who gave him this mission. Prince Björn smiles as Hakon approaches with the dagger in his hand. Well done, Hakon. You will be richly rewarded. How did you know the dagger was there? What are you going to do with it? Because it's very powerful, Hakon asks a bit suspiciously. Don't worry, Hakon. It will be kept safely in a place where our enemies won't be able to use it against us. Now, if you would give me the dagger, I would like to see it up close. Hakon hesitates for a second, but reluctantly hands the dagger to the prince. Such a beautiful blade. The details on the hilt are absolutely stunning. The prince looks up at Hakon. I'm sorry, friend, but I can't have anyone know about this. Hakon looks shocked as the prince's face changes to that of someone he does not know. He quickly realizes it's an illusionist who impersonated the prince. He even followed protocol to find out if it really was the prince, and he found no wrongs. He raises his sword bravely, but it doesn't matter. The illusionist is already upon him and stabs the blade in Hakon's side. Thank you for retrieving this for me. You've done me a great service. The illusionist turns around and walks away. Hakon looks at him until his final breath. In his head, he swears that his wrath will be sweet. And then the world goes black. And then the world goes black as the dagger's magic takes his life.